Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Oh, fuck. You know what happened, Chemda? I finally was able to pay off a parking ticket to get my license back. Not parking ticket, speeding ticket, 73 into 55. I was going, this was back in 2013. It's 2022 for the record. Back in 2013, I'm going to a wedding cake tasting. Me, my wife-to-be, my mother-in-law. I go, I laughed at them. I go, I shouldn't have to pay this. They go, why? I go, I'm divorced. Me and my mother-in-law don't talk.
You're still paying for that marriage.
To the tune of like $350 over all this time. I keep paying. They tell me what to pay. I pay it. Apparently, there's another level. Now, I would need, it gets so frustrating. I need 6 months off. So sure, maybe I didn't need over a decade to deal with this. But even just very recently, $73, your payment is done. Okay. And here's a piece of paper that says paid $140, paid $200. I'm like, what? What are words? What's money? I'm trying to pay you. I finally got in touch with this. It's a small town in Pennsylvania, these fucking idiots. And their office hours are 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., maybe, sure. Off for a break, don't leave a message. I happened to reach somebody today for the first time in a couple months.
Where you're trying and you just...
When I started trying again wholeheartedly, they pick up the phone. You're right. You're not kidding me. Hello, courthouse. And I'm like, what is so fucking funny? Then I go, Malley, M-A-L-L-E-Y. Oh, yeah, got you here. Okay. Did I pay you? Like, oh, yeah, you paid us. Okay, good. Because I don't want to go back to the DMV and just be told I didn't pay. What does 140 and 200 mean? Yeah, you owe us 140 and 200. Did I pay it? No, you paid for the lifting. Then you paid for another lifting. Then I see you paid for another lifting. And then you paid for a circumvent. And I'm like, what? How can I just end this? Like,
they owe you money.
Yeah. I go, how do I end this? And it's like, you'd have to pay it. I'm like, and I would like to now pay it. All right, I'll have to give you another phone number. Oh, kill me. Okay, what the fuck is another phone number? So anyway, by the way, I call another phone number. It's an automated system, but they have hold music for like 5 minutes. It's automated. Anyway, I think that I finally paid it, but at this point in time, I'm now going to have to retake all my tests.
You mean your driver's license test,
Which
right?
Which is just a pain in the ass, but... I was practicing with Kyle when she's taking her rating test, and we're looking it up online, and you know what it is. When you get into a car, but you're out with friends, you know that A, alcohol, you can control it. Get behind the wheel. B, a drink takes about an hour to digest. So you should be fine if you timed it right. Or C, drive at your best always. So I'm not worried about the written test. I just want to go through. And I'm not worried about the driver's test. I think I'll get in, I'll pull out, and they're like, oh, shit, okay, you do know. I'm like, yes. Motherfucker, because of this stupid little town, I got to do it again. And that's it. That's where I'm at. So when people are telling me the news, I'm like, that's all the problems?
I genuinely think this is all adulting is. All it is to adult is to do the things that you took for granted as a kid that people were shuffling to you to. Do I have to go to this? Bitch, you will have to go to so much worse. Like, this is so... When people go like, oh, being an adult is so hard. What's so hard about it? Well, I have to call and they don't have the right... hours and they don't
can't pay a bill.
Up.
You know how then you're a kid and you're like, holy shit, taxes, and you're working. Wait until you get to the next level, half adults, when you can't pay a bill, when they don't let you. I'm working on a theory that these credit card companies with automated things were like, sometimes you have to interrupt what they're saying. They're a computer. Sometimes you have to wait till the very end. The recording, when I call them cunts, I know it. And at the very end, they go, your payment is made, and I'm happy. I'm not upset I just gave $300. I'm happy. Thank you for taking it. We got this done. That's how I feel. Oh, well. Who
Months
knows?
of work.
Oh, me and Chemda are getting a Keith and the Girl car. Can't wait to tell you about that. Holy shit. Why does it work to give money?
I don't know if we're getting a car. I don't know how to adult in this way. I almost cried in several car dealerships. And
Everything's
I'm
a bait and switch, right?
it's so bananas. Are we talking about this right now?
No, we're not. Let's introduce our guest.
One thing at a time, right?
Yeah,
Your
come on.
pain is today. My pain will be the next episode.
right.
It's fine.
I'll tell you how to save some money, though. With Honey, Honey, the browser extension. I'll tell you about that. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. I have this browser extension. Go to joinhoney.com/KATG. You download this browser extension. When I'm on a website, I bought headphones fairly recently. I go the free extension goes, bring. Here's a coupon code for $30 off. And I'm like, idiots. And I was going to buy it anyway. I love Honey. If you don't already have Honey, you're straight up missing out. It's literally free, installs in a few seconds. Sounds like some kind of scam to me, right? But, I've been using it. Chemda's been using it. And Xerxes, Chemda's boyfriend, does security for computers. And is like, no, this is totally fine. By getting it, you're doing yourself a solid. You're supporting the podcast as well. And we don't recommend things we don't use. Get Honey for free. Join honey.com, HONEY/KATG. All right, you're welcome.
I know that everybody working quote computers, like engineers, IT people, love when they hear people describe other people's work. And security, computers,
Right.
top level, he's smart.
Right.
Ones and zeros, hell no, that's a totally different thing. It's programming, but I'm just going to go computers.
I'll tell you so. This is how good he is. I'll tell you something. He didn't know I was watching. But you know how computers are ones and zeros? He typed in a 2. This guy knows what he's talking about. Anyway, today's guest featured on Comedy Central, Netflix. The podcast is called Don't Make Me Come Back There. Does it with his wife. And I'm a backseater. I listen, absolutely. His stand-up album's fantastic. Dustin Nickerson. Hello, Dustin.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How you holding up?
I'm good. Keith, I am impressed that you can confidently pass a written test for to get your driver's license renewed. I never passed mine, and I still got a license.
I didn't mean to act like it was so easy then. They seem kind of dumb to me, unless there's like like a certain sign you never heard of. What was the hang up?
Wait, how did you get your license?
Well, yeah. So I go in and I pass the driving test swimmingly, all good on there. And then I go back to take the written test and I fail. And then I come back to retake it and they go, "Oh, you passed it." And I go, "I'm pretty sure I failed it." And they go, "Well, the computer says you passed it." And then they gave me my license. So bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen.
Where do you live that you take the driver's test first?
Maybe it was the opposite. I don't remember the order. This was a while ago. But yeah, when we came back to retake it, they were like, no, it's fine. You passed it, which is,
wow.
and so far I'm a pretty safe driver. I think I got caught up. Yeah, it's the ADHD thing. It was always the memorization of like.
All right. And we did our best. So he forgot his laptop, did it on a phone.
Maybe his phone ran out of juice.
And his phone's out of juice. So what we're going to do.
But he's driving out there and he's a safe driver. And I was just going to tell him, like, who's going to think they're not a safe driver? Keith is the worst driver. You still think you're a safe driver, don't you?
They gave me a test and I passed.
That's right. You did pass and you will pass again. Yeah.
And quite frankly, now that he's gone, let me tell you how stupid it is to fail a written test. What the trick is, he sounds like he's too honest, right? But I think I failed. So he sounds too honest.
That would be me. Yeah.
But after the written test, even if they don't, you just bring it up. But usually I understand the person giving the test says, "Do you have any questions about anything?" And then you just go, "Yeah, the sign question was a little confusing. Am I supposed to make a left or right? The wording was weird." They go left. I go, "Yeah, so I'd mark left instead of right." And they're like, "Okay, perfect." It's pretty easy. Luckily, he's still fixing his phone and doesn't know. It's pretty fucking easy to pass.
What?
Yeah, apparently not.
Oh,
Sorry
shit!
about that, guys. That idiot who forgets his laptop and can't pass his driving test. I'm so sorry, guys.
I didn't know he still had the link. Fuck.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Turn your phone sideways. I want to read this letter from a listener, Chris. Chris writes, Dear Keith and Chemda, I'm a regular listener and I do give a fuck about this email. But today I think I'll skip an episode as I see headlines of another horrific shooting starting to emerge from the U.S. This is happening on my daughter's 5th birthday, and I just need to withdraw from the news cycle for a couple of days. It's easier for me here in Scotland, thousands of miles from the crime, talking about an elementary school shooting that just happened. We had a similar shooting in Dunblane in 1996. Don't want to brag, but we had one a month ago. And as a result, it's almost impossible to own a gun here. Even air guns, those airsoft guns, are difficult to obtain. This is not to say that we haven't seen violence. Around 20 years ago, nice try, America #1. About 20 years ago, we had an epidemic of knife crime with youth men stabbing and slashing each other and a mixture of gang crime and rates of passage. Scotland and Glasgow in particular had the highest knife murder rate in Europe. The solution was to treat knife crime as a health issue and not a criminal offense. Police officers rounded up youths and their mothers and sat them in a conference room 100 at a time and forced them to listen to a bereaved mother talk about her son she's lost in knife crime. For those who say guns are an endemic and will never be removed from your society, I'd say, why is the USA the only country in the world where this regularly happens, and why don't you deserve better? Regards, Chris. Yeah, teen gunman killed at least 19 children, a teacher, killed his grandmother before he went to the elementary school. He turned 18, bought legally 2 assault rifles. Happened to be 2 days before the start of the summer break. This was in Texas.
Welcome to the show, Dustin. We are a comedy show. The world is just not as funny all the time.
No, I get it. There's a tone deafness to not acknowledging it. You know, I hear you. It's, you're a parent. You just, I was talking to a friend about the day. You just drop your kid off at school today and hope, you feel so powerless.
Yeah. You have a teenager.
3, right?
I have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
That's a lot. That's too many.
That's 3 different schools, it sounds like. This is horrible news.
It is. No, I looked at my wife last night and I go, if this many school shootings were happening in a different country, America would invade that country.
Yes. We
would take action and be like, you guys got to get it together. You can't what are you doing? You can't, whatever it takes to stop this, we'll intervene.
Yeah, we're saving you from your guns by coming in with our guns. This is a great idea.
Yeah, and then it's just the platitudes. It's every day of it's like they get up and give us the thoughts and prayers, and if only they can make a change. And like, you guys are the only ones that can make changes. Right. You guys are in charge. I think your thoughts and prayers are going to God's spam folder. I don't think he's getting the message there. Senator Cruz, do something, And then what is it? Half of them, like I think Abbott and Cruz are both like speaking at the NRA, like gathering this Friday. So it's all. There's no left and right, my friends. There's only top and bottom, and we're bottoms.
Right. The killer was 18 years old. He was fatally shot by a Border Patrol agent. This is fairly close to Mexico, who rushed into the school without waiting for backup. Can you fucking imagine, by the way, the Border Patrol comes down as the cops come down, and you're like, I got to check if my kid's alive, but everything's not on the up and up over here. Now I got to deal with this. The gunman was wearing body armor, got into the school, quote, as soon as he did, he was shooting everybody. As soon as he made entry to the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever was in his way. I have 3 stepkids, Dustin, and they're in New York City. They keep skipping school. You know what? Good.
At this point, it's a better decision for your future.
Hang out with the bad kids. What, too much weed? Okay.
This is a weird plea for publishing. Does this guy have a manifesto also? They seem to be writers. Like a lot of my thoughts are important. And
Chemda, is this how you're transitioning into my book promo? Because I don't appreciate it. These writers, they've all got real problems.
But do you get when I heard this, honestly, I was just like, quite frankly, okay. Sandy Hook wasn't okay to me. But cut to now, I'm like, okay. you have 3 kids. You're a pastor of some sort. I'll get into. Oh, did it hit? Is it a big slap in the face, or are you starting to get numb?
I think that I make myself read the gory details.
Okay.
I make myself watch the videos of parents weeping. I have to intentionally go out of my way to not numb, but my instinct is numb because the last week, right? You've got
I can't act surprised. I'm just not surprised.
Yeah. You got a grocery store in Buffalo, a Taiwanese church in SoCal, and now a school. You just go, I can't act surprised, but because of the kid element, it of course it does stir a little more emotion. But yeah, when you got into and I'll spare some of the details. I to answer your question, yes, I do feel numb, but I recognize that I don't want to, and so I try to dig deeper to empathize. But then I find myself just getting sad and then angry at our officials who won't do anything to help.
Yeah, I'm numb in that. I'll still vote locally. I obviously vote nationally, and I'll show up to a march here and again. But okay, what am I going to do? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing that I find myself in. Not only what am I going to do, but where am I going to put this? I understand that it's information that we're getting and it's information that exists. I don't know where to put it because if I put it in the front all the time, then I'm following up on news items all the time. It's in the front. It's very out of my control. And now I'm only living in the stuff that's out of my control. So it's very difficult to balance the information and then to feel privileged that all I have to do is balance the information. This hasn't happened to me directly yet. So congratulations, Chemda. You're learning how to balance the information that happened to other people.
I like that the writer was like, it's so sweet, like letting us know, like, hey, you might see a change in the numbers. I can't listen to this next one, assuming you're topical. This next one from the girls show. I wrote back simply, I hear you, believe me. Love, Keith. I get it. I get it, of course.
But hold on a second. I get it that you don't want to hear this, but we have said some awful shit on this show. I think this is other people trying to balance it. Like we've talked about our lives and cried about it and talked about diseases, near deaths, like, parents abuse.
We're not a 10-year-old we're not a 10-year-old trying to buy a car. You know what I mean? I guess
because specifically, the children thing. That's as much as like, I never understand this. I don't really understand it. I don't understand the kid aspect of this. I don't, like as adults, we understand.
Because we like kids better because they have even more potential than a kid that's a little older.
Yeah. But the thing is like other adults could have pissed you off by now in whatever groups they are, whatever you put your pain on like some other adult group. But to put it on the kids, I don't even know what you're mad at anymore. I don't know what you're mad at.
And then when school's open, they make me stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all these flags being at half-mast. Let me say something about America. And by the way, it seems the government always needs more and more money. Just cut the top of the flagpole off. It shows respect the whole time, and we still stand proud.
Half-mast is thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Cut off the fucking top, sell the silver, put that into schools, perhaps.
Yeah, that'll help with the deficit.
It can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
It's just there's one thing that I see in common about all these shootings. They involve guns. Now, where we go from there, I can't even begin to fucking guess. I don't know. Let me ask you this, Dustin.
Well, what you're going to find in stabbings is all knives. So it's a weird statement, but we get what
let's say one of Dustin's kids are hitting the other with a stick. And he goes, give me that stick. And the kid's like, really, Dad? You think it's about the stick? Like, yeah, but I'm still going to take the stick.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm going to start.
Yeah, I will address your mental health. But in the meantime, I need to take the stick out of your hand.
Less guns, more guns. The gun should have guns. Every bullet should have a gun.
That's my favorite thing right now is when everyone, particularly when on the right, and again, I have no political affiliation. I'm a non-political affiliation. But I love when the right goes, "This isn't a gun issue. This is a mental health issue." And I was like, "You are literally the group that will not provide health care for people. Like, okay, so work on the mental health part. Give us something, if that really is your issue, then, we used to,
By the way, Dustin, as you're speaking, I have news for you. You are on a side.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
it depends on the day.
No political affiliations, but you have some thoughts.
I have plenty of thoughts, but I
Sure.
don't resonate one way or the other. The point being, like, you remember when we were kids and they tested us for scoliosis? They all lined up. We did a little basic screening. And they tested our vision. You can ask the kids a couple questions too, see how they're doing. Things like anxiety and depression, these things can be diagnosed through healthcare professionals.
You know what kind of response you get to that kind of stuff when people are not interested in how the brain works? You get, when I was a kid, I was getting yelled at all the time. I was getting bullied. I was getting called names, and I'm fine. And to all those people who say I'm fine, no, you're not. No, you're not. Who the fuck is fine? Why is fine an answer even?
Yeah.
And also, that's not fine. It's not okay. And if somebody would have stopped people from doing that to you, or at least recognized the pain, it would have been okayer. So do you want this for the children, or do you just go like, what's anxiety to children? What do you have to be so afraid of? Anyway, The gunman is dead. So hopefully we get to read another book.
So you go to church, right, Dustin?
Yeah, I am a churchgoer.
Are you a pastor?
I am not. Once upon a time, I was.
You were a youth pastor specifically, right?
I was a youth pastor specifically. Yep.
What ages?
19 to 25, 26.
Oh, okay.
Those were, well, you kind of have to be a youth pastor then, because it's the only group you're older than.
Right.
And you can't be giving the sermon to adults when you're 23.
What's a youth pastor? How are there different pastors? Is this not in church?
Yeah, a lot of churches, they'll have like youth like gatherings on like the Wednesday night or something like that. Like it's another church service just for the teens or whatever,
Oh, so you do, like, you lead in prayers, but this time it's teenage?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It would be like a church service just for teens, and I would do the sermons and let's play on the games, and you'd make it more catered towards that age range.
You take them to a bouncy trampoline park. They can play for 45 minutes. Laser tag, and then we sit down and we pray for 10 minutes, and they think it's a deal.
Oh, but this is different than the kind of Sunday school that happens midweek, right? That's different.
It's kind of a merging of the two.
Okay, so it's prayer and activity.
Basketball. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of basketball. Played a lot of bump.
Do you have another position in the church? I ask because what got you into being a pastor? Your dad not giving you attention?
No, not my dad. I was not raised in a religious environment. Just raised by the single dad.
By the way, to be clear, sorry, we're talking about the one true God, Jesus Christ, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I don't recognize any other belief as legitimate, and they can all burn in hell. Hopefully that comes out as just a quote box. No,
I hope all of a sudden your phone dies again.
Yeah. No, it was a very simple like path to church for me, in that I was just like a 9th, 10th grader, and I had a couple Christian friends, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come to church?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess, whatever." And I went, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, these kids are so much nicer than they are at school." Look at all these nice kids who are encouraging each other to make good decisions in life. And so I just kind of stuck around, if you will. And I was like, what? You got to go dunk me in that water? Whatever. Pizza every Wednesday. Sounds great. I'm a big fan.
How long have you and your wife been together?
Let's see. We started dating when I was 16, so 20, 21 years. And we've been married for 18 this summer.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18 this summer. And just to go back real quick, your kid happens to be 18.
No. We were rule followers, and that's why we got married so young, because we were eager.
Okay.
We were we were by the book. That's an old joke I used to on stage. But when you get married young, people always assume Mormon or military, and neither.
Which they are, by the way. I was in the Army, and after basic, if you get married, you get a fucking free house.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely
everybody was doing
for
it.
You too. Yeah. It's financially an incentive for you to do so. So yeah, we've been together a long time and have been fortunate to continue to grow in ways that are compatible, because there is really a lot of dumb luck to relationships.
Wait, am I getting this right? And I'm sorry to be crass. You both were virgins?
Yeah. We're the two of us have only ever had sex with each other.
That's really sweet. Was it awkward?
Of course. Yeah, it was so terribly weird, right? We were like, but it was still fun, even though we weren't good at it. You're like, like
we've had sex. We know it's gonna. Yeah.
We still know what sex is.
Yeah. Well, it's like little kids at the ice skating rink, who don't know how to skate. They're still having the time of their lives. That's who we were, and you got better at it over time. But yeah, it was very awkward.
You're a good parent?
Am I a good parent?
Yeah.
Oh, yes and no. I don't know that I can answer unequivocally on that one.
What would your kids say?
I think that they would say yes. I don't know. I mean, let's get them on. They could probably, I bet their Zoom call wouldn't have dropped like boomer dads.
Well, they're the ones hiding your computer, first off.
Exactly.
So get this, Chemda. He would tell his kids that you have to behave, or the BKAN are coming, the BKAN. That's bad kids in Mexico. BCAM.
Big Kim.
Sorry, I'm not they aren't really my kids, these stepkids.
No.
BCAM, bad kids in Mexico, and he would even they'd see a bus pass on the road and go, those are the bad kids going to Mexico.
Pretty effective.
How long can that last?
What's weird is that you guys would vacation in Mexico, so that's very odd.
They weren't late to the airplane, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that was one of those things that you tell your kids, and at least the oldest one is like 75% sure you're joking, but that 25% is why it still works. There's there's a chance.
Why not just use hell? Kind of goes with the whole. It sounds scary to me.
Well,
I grew up Jewish. We don't have a hell. We have guilt, which I have a feeling is synonymous. But why not use hell?
Well, hell is for higher stakes. If they're asking for something in Target, it's B Kim. If they're arguing with their mom, it's hell. There's got to be different levels of punishment.
If you can't put the plates out on your own, that's
this
hell.
is the new Elf on a Shelf, right?
I've heard Dustin say, you know what? If you're a dad and you don't have a dad bod, by the way, you're not a good dad. Those are just muscles that aren't hugging your kids. That's all.
Yeah.
Come on.
I hold to that every day. My favorite part about that joke is every time I post it, there's a bunch of really defensive dads who are like, I get up every day at 6 a.m. and you're like, is there a workout for thicker skin? It's a joke, buddy. Freaking relax. They just get so defensive.
But that means it's true.
Well, and they comment on it, and that helps the algorithm. So I win.
Right, sure. And apparently, I'm in a fight on Tuesday. But anyways,
actually, having self-care is not selfish. Dustin,
right? I'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh yeah, no, I had posted some video recently about it was a joke about being an introvert. There's a woman who on the plane next to me was like, it's true. She started talking about how she's an adrenaline junkie and how she loves to hike with her cat. And she was showing me pictures. And my joke was like, it's time to bring back the masks. Like, we can't do this. We can't be talking to people on the plane. And then everyone started arguing about the mask. And I was like, this video is going to be huge. Thank you. I don't know if either of you guys are Star Wars junkies.
I know.
But there's you're familiar
I've seen everything.
with
I've seen everything, and it's making me think it was always for kids. But continue.
Yeah,
I know it's not Star Trek, so
That's
go
right.
ahead.
Yeah, there you go. There's a scene where Luke and Vader are fighting, and their their lightsabers
Who?
cross, and then the Emperor, who orchestrated all of it, is smiling in the background. When people argue in my comments, I'm the Emperor. This is exactly what I wanted from you guys.
And you got to find that line, like Luke was about to kill Darth Vader, and then the Emperor's a weirdo, like, definitely fucking do it. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to do it. So you got to find, as an artist, the right way to egg on, but don't push it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Are you a handy guy around the house? Do you know? Can you build shit?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
He happens to not be at home, but just that question with the wires floating around behind
I know.
him.
Yeah. It is kind of fitting.
It's beautiful.
No, my wife is the man of the household in that regard. She fixes everything. She can learn.
Here come the comments. You know, women could do that too. It's not exactly a masculine trait. We just put that there, and maybe. Okay.
Holy shit! Hold on, Dustin's hands just started electrocuting.
Yeah.
You fell for it, Chemda.
You're right. Here I am affirming my wife's abilities to do anything, and that's
you're
sexist.
Proof,
that sounds right.
You're proof that it's not a man's job, and so is Keith. And, okay, now
you're good at this. You're really good at this.
She's more great in that regard, in that I was born great.
Yeah, she can do anything, and I resent her for it. I'm good at one, maybe two things max. And she can just learn any new skill and excel in it. And at times I celebrate it, and other times I just straight up resent her.
I'll relate to you. You know, I understand how sexist this stuff is, but there is something to it, at least to me, to the man part of things, where me and my ex that I was just talking about, I'm thinking about how we're in the house, and I look over and she's building IKEA furniture and I'm ironing the bed skirt. And I'm like, this could still work out, right?
Yeah. What's particularly frustrating too is my dad, who raised me, is very handy. He was literally a carpenter. And now I like blow dry my hair and put on makeup sometimes. And that's, for shoots. But he was.
Whatever you want to tell yourself.
Exactly. He was a stressed out single parent. And so he never taught it to me because that was his escape. Like, he didn't really want, or he'd be like, if I came down to like learn it, he'd be like, not now. I'll play catch with you, but just let me have my woodwork.
Right.
I get that.
No, I'm the worst at it. And Chemda's so much better at it. Chemda came over here. This is a sad story. This might make you cry. Chemda came over here, and her and Xerxes put together this swinging like bench that I had outside. All right.
He doesn't even know what it's called. That's how, you know what I mean? It's just a swinging bench. Let me tell you how he got us into his house to put together this quote swinging bench. He didn't say swinging. He didn't say bench. He didn't say it has the top that fucking shades him. He didn't say any of that shit. He goes, can you help me put together a chair that Kyle got for me? And I want to surprise her this weekend that it's put together, and then we get to enjoy it before it's the end of summer.
I had a broken toe or twisted ankle, for the record. And Chemda said, do you need anything? That's important, Your Honor.
I meant go to the supermarket for you, because while we were putting together this chair, he
swinging
was walking this way. No, first it was a chair. Then we realized it was a whole, set. But anyway, he's walking around, cleaning stuff up, enjoying his ice cream. Like, you were fine.
I didn't sit there eating ice cream in front of you. This did not happen.
He had apparently gotten that from Kyle 2 months before. And now he's like, well, Chemda offered, can I get you anything? Yes. Could you put together some furniture in my house? And the reason why he's bringing it up and saying I'm so good at it, I'm not good at it. He knows I'm not good at it. Xerxes is really good at it. And we worked very well together. It was a very prideful moment for me, because I actually learned and chilled out and followed the directions and actually really did help for the first time instead of going like, huh, I don't know what this does. How is this a picture of something that's here? What is this a picture of? So it was big news for me. But yeah, Keith played us. We get it. We know it.
And then a storm came and blew it all. A storm came, Dustin, and blew it all apart. So how good did they do? But anyways,
No, it didn't. And he gave us ice cream, but we brought him ice cream.
A storm really did come. It tore the thing apart.
Oh.
And then Xerxes blamed me and said, "Did you tighten it every so often?" And I'm like, "I'm still trying to pay a bill over here. Okay, I don't know." So it's all apart. Time goes by. I don't know what to fucking do. And I'm sure, pieces are missing and all this. So finally, the other day, I'm going to throw it out. And the landlord comes by and sees it. And he says, "Oh, I think it still works. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "I don't know how to put it together. I guarantee all the pieces aren't even there." And I go, "No, he resells everything." I'm like, I resell it, throw it out, whatever you want to do. The very next day, it's literally in my neighbor's yard that I can see because there's only an open fence between us. Those graded fences. I'm staring right at my fucking porch thing, now 20 feet away from me. Anyone can own it in the world. It can go in the trash. I don't need to just what? So yes, it's this lack of handyman skills. It's the saddest thing.
It is the saddest thing because I know when you said it fell apart, I'm like, it did not fall apart. It doesn't just fall apart. It probably fucking tipped over because there were heavy winds.
Well, that's what a storm is, Chemda, heavy winds. I followed why it tipped over. I didn't think it was...
fell apart?
Yeah, it blew apart.
And all of the material was got. Did you even try to put one piece into?
What's throwing you? Yeah, I stopped at one piece. I was so proud.
It fell apart. Admit it didn't fall apart.
It fell apart. I don't know what the fuck. It fell on its side and it was too much for me. And it got torn apart.
Okay. What would you have wanted him to do? If this is an outside... If
it's so easy to put together, just put it together. What, I got to fucking bake? So now what do I want? Nothing. There's nothing could be done. They put it together. It's theirs. I don't... Whatever.
My God. What do I want him to do? Okay. Keith, how did you get that guitar hanging on your wall since you're so bad at handiwork?
I one of those things you pay for did it.
TaskRabbit?
Yes.
Okay, that's one option, Dustin. Are we taking notes? What's another option? Take a picture of it. Text your friends. Go, is this completely broken?
I'll play. She was like, I don't think a storm hit it. Maybe a strong wind and it moved an inch and it blew your mind. Like, yeah, I'm really going to ask you if I have all the nuts and bolts over here.
You did, because next door, it's there.
I simply asked this because I really enjoy listening to you fight. I'm just poking here.
Yes, Emperor.
Yes. Oh, you're just asking. Oh, you already did. Okay, I thought there were more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm happy to fight with Keith.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this a lot. Yeah.
Me too.
I liked in Dustin's stand-up, he talked about, he would go on marches sometimes. At least he went to the one of the Black Lives Matters march. But now he's stuck with this sign because he doesn't want to be caught fucking throwing out a BML sign. It'd be like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, situation.
That's
Somebody
exactly
catches like, I hate this fucking thing. You're folding it, trying to rip it to fit. You're stuck with that sign forever now.
Yeah, there's no, what do you do it in the middle of the night? What do you do? There's no, you just hold on to it, I guess. It's
right.
You got to call a TaskRabbit.
Yes. I'll just hold it up in a storm and it'll blow away, or thrown a same fate as the swinging chair.
Right.
It's so fun being handy. It's got to be so fun. I'm really not handy, but it's got to be so fun. My brother has found a refrigerator in his neighborhood and he threw it in his car and he's like, and then I just switched this one piece because apparently the noise that it was making just meant you need to replace it. It cost me $5 on Amazon. And now I have a new refrigerator. And I'm like, that's like art. That's
right. Because if he died from carbon monoxide poisoning, everybody would be like, yeah, duh, you can't pick up a fridge from outside,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think if I was handy, my wife would be pro that decision.
Beds and refrigerators. I don't think you're supposed to pick up off the street.
Yeah, I just found this fridge on the curb outside,
I think Long Island's a little bit different is what it is,
Okay.
Yeah, because these people are throwing out magic,
Yeah, it's so much time though. That's
Yes.
when people are handy, you go, yeah, they're like this only costs $5. But it took 5 days.
And
That's
when you
all.
say I agree with you. And when you tell them that, they're like, I know. And they bathe in it because for
They love
5
it, yeah.
days, they had so much fun. He has fun looking it up. What's the problem? He figured it out. That's one reward. Another problem is he bought it for $5 when he saw it for 15. He used honey. That's another reward. And then he put it together. That's another reward. And he can tell you that story that he got a new fridge for $5. That's rewards all day, baby.
And now he's wasting my time.
Right. This is the 6th bonus day. Like, at least Jesus rest. Good God.
Yeah.
I try at first. I try to look something up, and then the first article I see is, a refrigerator is a great way to beat the heat. I'm like, get the fuck done. Project is done.
I know. For sure.
You can also try a movie theater. What? Fuck off. They ended up finding the Q Train shooter. We had a subway shooting just the other day. They found them, of course. You never get away. Andrew Abdullah, 25, arrested outside a lawyer's office before he could voluntarily surrender, poor guy. So he's trying to get lawyers ahead of time. And the lawyers, I assume, just went, yeah, I'm going to call the police ahead of time. I'll find you later. That's not how lawyers work.
This is the reverse order. You don't come to me first.
Right. Through his representatives, he had expressed his desire to surrender personally to Mayor Adams. Yeah, why not? Sure, I'll let you meet me, you fucking psychopath. Authorities nabbed him before he can turn himself in on his own. Yeah, okay. Sure. And, it sounds silly to go from that to this, but it's all about who inspires you. That dude that slapped Chappelle says he was inspired by the Will Smith slap.
Says he was?
He was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a thing now. People are just coming on stage, which is
a little comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Is it a thing now? Is it?
Well, I mean, it's happened twice now recently to very high profile comedians. And, on all things, you just kind of worry about copycats. And I cannot communicate to you just how bad / non-existent comedy club security is.
Right.
I mean, it is just you. I mean, a lot of the time it's another comic. He just has a security jacket on. That's all. That's security. And so, there is, I don't know. There's hecklers are a thing you always deal with, but you're like, oh, are people going to get comfortable coming up here now? Ooh,
and what do you do?
What? Like, we have heard of not people as famous, but on our show, people have said they've gotten punched. Somebody came up to threaten them on the stage. There are people who have gone on stage a lot less so on a Broadway play. It's
right.
But it has been done. There's nothing to stop it except to teach people what stand-up is. It's a show. They're not talking to you. That's the thing. Everyone thinks
you're being used, and they don't even respect you, and they can't see your eyes. They hate you. Just remember that and stay calm.
There's a script, I think because comedians are talking like, hey, I just broke up with my girlfriend yesterday, but it was really 2 years ago. They're just telling the story like Broadway does. Sit in your seat.
Yeah, I think it's a social media thing, and that we all deserve opinions in this world. We all have an opportunity. We all deserve an opportunity to share them. However, when you're the audience member of a comedy club, that's not the time for that. But they feel empowered to do so. Well, he's saying a thing that I disagree with. So like, yeah, you got to do like 10 years of open mics to get up here. Sorry.
Yeah, but after 10 years, do you promise you'll be at my show? You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can ensure me that you're going to hear my side back.
But I
Yeah,
hear you on the social media thing, but hecklers have always been there. People have always spoken
Yeah.
back to comedians
Yeah.
specifically. So everyone still wants it. It really is like,
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I'm putting on a show. You shouldn't be talking back to me. Remember like the throwing tomatoes was.
Yeah. Crowd reactions and interactions are an occupational hazard. We can complain about them, but they will never go away. Getting on stage is a totally different thing. That's like, now it's a safety issue. Now there's a line that has been crossed there. Especially when when they're being attacked, it's a totally different animal altogether.
How much have you thought about it happening to you? I literally do a stand-up show a year, so it hardly ever happens. But I'm thinking now, like, what do I do if someone really tries to get on stage? Will the whole crowd understand if I just knock you out first, or I guess I have to wait until you swing at me, right? What do I do?
I think a crowd, I think I personally, my ego says, okay, let's just fight this person. Let's just, I'll just tackle him first. You can't tackle me if I tackle you first. Let's go back to high school wrestling days. But in reality is, if somebody got on stage and security did not immediately come get involved, I think I would just get off stage and end the show, because there's nothing coming from that's going to be beneficial.
But are you a good fighter? Have you ever been in a fight?
I've been in fights, but I don't need to fight a person. I don't know if they have a weapon. I don't know what their intention is if they're going on stage. I have a wife. I have kids. That's what I'm saying. I have no motive to be like, let me knock this guy out and show him who's in charge. I understand
that, because that would never be my response. Really. It never has been. I don't think I've ever really hit anyone, but it's just not my response. I would leave also, but I do think getting up on stage, if somebody hits you that is on stage, you already crossed the board. Like the fact that you are on stage, not in your seat where we contracted you to be, and I am only allowed to be up here, that's a threat. Right. And I think if somebody responded physically, we would have to understand a little bit. Why are you here?
If somebody attacks me, that's a different thing. But I'm just saying, if somebody comes on the stage,
I think the attack is you're on the stage. I'm allowed to call that a threat if you're on my stage.
Did you guys see the video some time ago where it's I feel like he was a comedian also, but he was playing an acoustic wooden guitar. And he's having some back and forth with somebody in the audience, and the audience member comes up aggressively looking, and the guy just takes his guitar, smacks him over the head like a movie. The whole crowd turns on the comic, and the comic's like, but you saw it. But you saw it. Yeah.
He rushed me, right? He attacked me, right?
You saw. Yeah, but still, at the same time, sit the fuck down. I wish you could do that. I think now you should be able to do that. Sit the fuck down. What are we doing?
By the way, I understand that, like, yes, I don't see a need where he hit you with a guitar. The thing is I don't know what I'm going to hit you with. I don't know what you have. So, like, if we're calling it a threat, we can't go, but not the guitar,
Right.
That's
right.
We can't
common sense, people, not a guitar.
Right.
No, I'm going to become a guitar comic just for this reason. I'm switching to being a guitar comic.
For weapon. I'm an axe comic.
Yeah,
I'm a gun comic.
I juggle knives now. That's what I do, just in case. I'm ready at all times.
No one's jumping up on those stages.
The guy that attacked Chappelle, Isaiah Lee, 23. Let's see. It wasn't right what Chris Rock said about Will Smith's wife, saying G.I. Jane. They said, offensive. How did that offend you?
Offensive.
And Isaiah said, people told me it offended me, so it did. Lee said Smith was standing up for his wife during the infamous Celeb on Celeb Smack, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I wanted him to know that next time he should consider first running his material by people it could affect. I wanted Dave Chappelle and people to know that these are things you need to be more sensitive about. The LGBTQ stuff and being homeless. I was homeless. I said his goal was to stand up for what he believed in. He also admitted the attack was also partially driven by a pursuit to raise his public profile as a budding rap star who goes. So that's, your case is still going on. But anyway.
Wait, did he really say that?
Yeah. The attack was partially driven by a pursuit to raise his public profile as a budding rap star. He going by the stage name No Name _ Trapper, and once put out a song about Chappelle.
This guy's going to be in the stand promoting his SoundCloud. Hey, make sure to follow me on SoundCloud, guys.
I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of clout chasing, he said. In Hollywood, they say there is no such thing as bad publicity. I rap about these things in my music, and I knew it would get attention. So, win-win.
This is true? He actually said this?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, this sounds so much like parody. That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I thought Keith was just kind of making shit up.
He insisted he doesn't have mental health issues, which, of course...
Right, clearly.
No, he's just a dumbass.
You know how crazy people are always super aware of it. How...
Right.
Yeah.
It's being said Busta Rhymes and Jamie Foxx jumped him backstage immediately following the attack. I know I heard that video.
Be quiet.
Right. Well, Chappelle said, you can count on the share of Jamie Foxx and, Busta's out there stomping people. And you're like, well, I guess Chappelle's the snitch, right? I mean, we even heard audio where it's like, fuck him up. It's like, okay, well, that's why, somehow you're not going to get in trouble and this guy's going to get off less. Maybe you're not supposed to yell, fuck him up. You just kind of fuck him up real quick.
Yeah.
Right?
If only Chappelle would have had a guitar.
They were stomping on me all over and my ribs and said, are you stupid, kid? Why the hell did you do that? I couldn't say anything because they kept kicking me. For a few days, it was hard to breathe. At one point, someone
that's so funny.
At one point, he deserves it. At one point, someone spit on me, but I don't know who.
Wow.
A few days after the incident, Chappelle's publicist told TMZ that Chappelle was just joking when he said Buster stomped on the assailant and you can count on Jamie Foxx. That was just talk. For misdemeanor assaults, it won't be a felony conviction. It'll be what's considered low-level battery charges.
Is that time?
It would be
jail?
A bigger deal if it was a felony. But I think that they went, you know what? We hear you saying fuck him up. We have video of Buster just literally stomping on a guy with his boots.
Right.
Let's just go to the wash, basically. How about that?
We all got everyone's walking away fair here.
Right.
The arm. Oh, remember the arm was so bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was. They took off his arm. They ripped it off and they put it on backwards in mockery.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like a Mr. Potato arm with when your kid puts it on backwards.
Doesn't know how to do it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you said the guitar was bad?
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of guns, I saw the new Top Gun movie.
Why? Oh yeah, you have to.
Why?
Okay. I don't know.
It's such a funny response to that. Why would you do that?
It was part of I had to do it to pay off my ticket. Okay. There's so many fucking steps.
Did you like the first one?
Who doesn't like the first one, Chemda? Did you like E.T.?
Oh, I did like Top Gun. I hate it. I think that's one of the worst, most overrated movies ever.
Do you play volleyball? Hold on, Chemda. Do you play volleyball, Dustin?
Only on the beach with my shirt off.
Then you would get it. You're being sarcastic. Otherwise, you would understand it.
Yeah. Is that what it's mostly? It's mostly a volleyball movie.
This time it's football, but we get the beach. Don't worry. You have to get the beach.
Yeah.
You know what? Then just watch Point Break. Beautiful beach football scene, and then also surfing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard I never saw Top Gun. People always talk about it, but no one talks about the plot or how good the dialogue is. I guess there's a need for speed somewhere, but
it's just kind of an iconic movie, but it's not a good one. It's very quotable. It's got very it's got these super memorable scenes to them, but it is not in the sense of
there's only volleyball.
No, there's the bar scene when they sing the song, and then there's the Val Kilmer biting at him. There's a bunch of scenes that people are, but it's just as far as pure plot goes, it's not and delivery of line. It's not a good movie, but there are movies like that are just.
You know
terrible.
What you're describing right now? Porn. It's the plot, but they're these scenes where
Top Gun is a version of porn. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah, you're it's kind of just like over the top macho stuff, you know, like, oh, what if he flew the airplane in between airplanes? You know,
what is even as a kid when they did, you know, Tom Cruise says, I have the need, and then his buddy is like, for speed, they're just walking towards the hangar and they slap each other, and I remember thinking, who's that for? It's only you two to each other.
Yeah,
that hilarious. You guys are douches, but you try to ignore that because they're fucking fighter jets. And, you know,
plus a high five, like a fun high five, always makes you feel a little.
No, it seemed extra.
Really?
You haven't seen this high five.
I have not. No.
So it was
look at, by the way, what we're talking about when we talk about Top Gun, the high five, the. You
want to talk about an Aerial 5 split? They did a circumvention coming up from the canyon.
Finally.
I see every movie ever made. First of all, that's your why. I didn't have love, and I'm trying to find it, Dustin, growing up. So I hope you're doing good over there. Judge how many, by the way, judge if you're doing a good job by how many movies your kid sees as they grow up.
Okay. What's the healthy number? I don't know.
So the movie officially comes out this weekend. But I saw on my app something called Top Gun Tuesday. I'm like, I guess holiday's coming and they could do weird shit. I'll see it on Tuesday. I went to the theater. Even with my free pass, it was an extra $10. It's like a $30 ticket. And I'm like, just to see it 2 days ahead? Well, I'm already here, and I'm not good with money, so I just pretend it only costs $10. And I'm like, all right, let's see it. And it starts with the words, I think, from the first movie. Blah, 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 the best in the business, but they know it as Top Gun. It even had, Jerry Bruckheimer had another producer that died. I don't know if this will make sense to people. I really focus on everything in a movie. It had 2 lightning bolts, their production company, and now it only has 1. And they turned it back to 2, and grainy footage, and they did all this stuff so you feel like it's retro. And I'm like, am I on some event? It's a fucking double feature. I got really, it wasn't. But I really thought I thought it was good. Like, oh, $30, I see 2 movies, I guess.
Yeah.
But and I'm like, I guess, I don't know. Should I? And then you see like John Hamm's name, and I'm like, was he in the original? And then you see the new love interest name, and I'm like, okay, we're here. They were doing Highway to the Danger Zone in the first. They did all the songs in the first 5 seconds, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah, it seems like it's a real nostalgia piece. Yeah,
it definitely is. In fact, Val Kilmer is in it. And I won't ruin it, but I was close. If you remember me guessing what he would be in it, because he can't talk and his face is a mess, I was pretty fucking close.
Well, you know what? This reminds me, when Coming to America 2 came, it was also nostalgia. I knew I would have to see it. Unfortunately, it came out during the height of the pandemic, so it wasn't a reason to go to a theater at that time. But it was very enjoyable because of the first one. Like, I can't even tell if it was a good movie or not, because I was just like, salt and pepper. Get out of here. Oh, this guy's playing get out. This is what happened last time. They're in Queens. I'm in Queens. Fuck.
They're doing it again.
Yes.
But aren't movies the best, though? Spending lazy time with the kids?
Dustin uses them to sleep because he has kids.
No, movies are great. We like them. I feel like one of the most important things that I'm trying to do as a dad is to train them how to be good movie watchers, like how to mostly the big one, not talk during movies, which is like
in between the dialogue, right?
No, I'm a firm we don't talk during movies camp, like, and that line gets crossed a lot, I'll be like, you have to, it's amazing how often I've had to look at my children like, hey, when you're in a movie theater or when you're sitting next to me on the couch, please, during the quiet and dramatic parts of the movie, don't crack your knuckles. That would be just so great.
Those knuckles are in Dolby, right? Those knuckles are in Dolby.
Yeah, I would love that. So.
Let's see here.
I can't listen to 2 things at the same time. So if we're watching something, you definitely have to speak in between the dialogue, or I won't. Like if Xerxes tried to talk while he's also trying to show me like a video, I'll be like, right now, both of these things are happening. So I heard none of them. So
that's hilarious.
Pause you or pause that.
Yeah. Very similar.
Do you explain to them how every movie comes from the Bible, or was that just my dad?
That sounds like stuff. That sounds like your stuff you need to deal with, Keith.
Okay, all right.
And I'm saying that in a sweaty, hot church right now. I know. I'm like looking at the clock, and I was like, "How long are we doing this? Can we get some AC in here? Holy smokes!"
Maybe that's what hell is.
Maybe, yeah. It's the youth room upstairs with no AC.
Hey, just real quick, what was Jesus' skin color? Everybody's yapping.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine he would look like a first century Jew, and probably not like a Renaissance painting. I would guess that would be just my gut instinct tells me that he would look a lot like other first century Jews.
You have a
what's that?
Is that this
Chemda.
face?
Jesus
I
looks
don't
like
know.
Chemda.
Yeah. Probably more so than a lot of the paintings, honestly.
You have a book coming out in about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Must
June
be
7th.
shitting bricks. June 7th. What's the book called?
It's called Don't Make no, that's the name of my podcast. The book is called How to Be Married to Melissa.
It says real big, Chemda, on the cover, How to Be Married, and then written in to Melissa, my wife.
You know, it's clickbait for a book.
Sure.
Yeah. Premise of the book is that marriage books are stupid. Nobody could ever tell you how to be in a relationship because every relationship is so different. And so this one's just about our relationship. And we look at all the different topics that are points of contention in relationships, money, sex, in-laws, that kind of stuff. And say, there's no advice in here. This is just what it looks like for us. That's all.
If she had to complain about you and she's not being cute, like about grammar or something, what would she say is your worst quality?
My worst quality. I mean, I'm pretty aloof at times. You know, I can just be wandering.
Is aloof evil? Like, is aloof deliberate, or does it mean you're just not aware?
Both, because sometimes you're choosing to allow yourself to focus on something other than the people around you.
Okay.
You know, you're letting the distraction in. Also, I can, I'm a stand-up comedian. I can have some mean, biting words. We're not fun to argue with, you know. I mean, it's fun for us. It's a good time because you're like, I'm clearly winning right now. Like, just as far as points and bringing up stuff from the past, like I can do all this really good. All the things you're never supposed to do in a marriage.
Right. I can do rapid fire so good. I'm like recalling things and bringing it back and being sarcastic and throwing it up and future shit. And this is where this goes.
All of it. Oh, yeah. You're just like this, all the stuff. Oh, yeah.
What is
June 7th.
What does Melissa do for a living? Does she?
Melissa does a lot of stuff. She's the CFO of our little company, Dustin Nickerson Comedy. She's an art teacher. She's a fitness instructor. She manages the household. She's a graphic designer. She does a lot of things.
And what do you do?
Exactly.
Jokes.
I'm still trying to figure out. Yeah. Words. I can write them. I can say them. And even that I'm hit or miss on. So.
Have people come at you with, hey, you've only been in one relationship. Why are you writing about relationships in general?
Well, I mean, that's the point of the book, is that I have no business writing about relationships. The only one that I could write about is this. And that's why it's not an advice book. It's not how to be married. It's how to be married to Melissa. It's about how this specific relationship works, because I agree. I think that's audacious when people write marriage books when they've only been with one person, or, you're like, what do you don't know anything. You know nothing. All you know is that relationship.
Do you start like, your favorite color is red, moving on?
Yeah. Like a child,
very specific.
like a child making friends, like
Yes.
just the basic, what's your favorite kind of juice? Okay. Then we build up.
What was the hardest section to write? The hardest topic? How to ask for anal. Melissa, you want to fill this in?
Yeah. This will be your portion of the book. The sex chapter wasn't that hard. That was what was probably.
That's what she said.
Heyo. I was hoping you'd hit that.
Thank you.
Probably the balance, the one about like work-life balance, because that's the one that is like, I feel like because, we have lifestyle careers, that they're like just constantly demanding and asking all the time, like setting boundaries and being present is very challenging. And I'm trying to write this and I'm going like, I haven't figured this out. I don't have any wisdom on this issue whatsoever. I either go,
that chapter you should leave blank because that's the time you spent with your family. Boom. That's how you do it. Is it too late to edit?
Man. We do have one concept chapter, but that was, we should have thought of that one. That would have been great.
Let's look here and see what we learned today, shall we?
Yeah.
First of all, we can call the show Top Gun if you like that, Chemda. We have that out of the way. But
I thought the Emperor, but I just,
I thought that too.
Really?
Thought that too. Yeah. All right, we'll check.
Okay.
Let's see. I believe that I paid off a parking ticket. It only took
Speeding
9
ticket.
years.
Maybe you kept writing parking ticket and they just were like, okay.
Oh, what I'm paying for other people's parking tickets.
Yeah.
Until you know what you did wrong. You don't even know what you did wrong all these years. You were speeding. Let's see over here. This person won't hear the show until right now when they're listening to it. So hi. But yeah, what could we do? There's gonna keep being shootings with guns, but what could we do?
And the person who wrote the letter, their name is Chris, as in Christ. Well, man, if you don't know, I don't know. And
it doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that, Dustin. Right? Like if your name's Chris, you're not really Christ, right?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so. What else is going on here? We caught one of the killers. That's good. But everybody is doing everything because of copycats, whether it's killers or comedy slappers. Top Gun. Final thoughts on that? Yeah, okay. It's Top Gun. I got a poster.
Gun?
I got a poster. I don't know what to do with it. So apparently that's part of the $30.
Oh, they gave you a poster for your $10?
Yeah.
Sign it. Sell it on eBay.
You want to follow Dustin? Here's how you do it. Follow the podcast called Don't Make Me Go Back Here. I'm fucking angry. I'll turn this around. And it's him and his wife, and they do a very good job.
What's the best way to get your book right now?
Amazon would probably be the fastest way.
Does that work the best for you? Are you monitoring numbers or anything like that? Is Amazon the best?
It is professionally advantageous for me to do well on Amazon, unfortunately, because Bezos all holds us by a grip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before this book comes out, just warn those Amazon employees. Be like, take a piss because it's about to get fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Well,
I did keep in the girl. We're about to go nuts. Yeah.
If you want to steal Melissa in 2 weeks, you'll have the playbook. How to be married to Melissa.
I know this was a risky book to write, for sure.
Right? Yeah. If she had any high school crushes or since then any colleagues that were semi-interested,
right?
Depending on your book sales, that's how much people want your wife.
Exactly.
Good luck. Go out there.
Somebody buys 4 copies, and you're like, easy.
All right. It's a little too much. Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks for sharing the show. Keith and the Girl, of course, is growing because you're wearing Keith and the Girl gear. You're telling your friends about it. You're hitting those like buttons, those subscribe buttons, and we appreciate it. Dustin, thank you so much for your time. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Love to your family. Talk to you later.